Hey guys, welcome back to the Brick Side. In this episode, I've got a few bits behind me, a few bits that I picked up for investing. I've got a box there from Amazon, two boxes from Argos, and also a set that I'm about to sell as well. So let me show you what those sets are exactly. So I've just flipped these around and you can see we've got 5 copies of the Kick Sauber set 77247, the only Formula 1 car that's scheduled to retire by the end of this year, with a pretty short shelf life, with this just being released in March. We now know that the Kick Sauber team is going to be replaced by Audi, which is why Lego are booting these off the shelves. And you can see here on my spreadsheet, so this is the second order of these that I've picked up. I initially picked up 6 of these for $14.24 each. And this order, these were up a little bit, but $15.72. So my average price for the 11 of these that I've picked up is $14.91. I am on the camp where I think that these will do pretty well. If we look on Amazon at the moment, and we look at Speed Champions, we can see the Ferrari selling 10,000 units a month at $16.99. Scroll down a little bit, we can see another listing for the Ferrari, the McLaren, 8,000 units. You can see the Mercedes, 6,000 units, all back up to $16.99. I've highlighted this before. The best time to buy Speed Champions I found from Amazon is around June, July, although we're still in July, earlier on in July. That's when I picked up the most of my Speed Champions last year at the best possible discount. These, where the other Speed Champions, the other Formula 1 cars, they were all around $14.99. This dropped to $14.99 for a very short period of time and then shot back up again. They were then on this further discount when I picked these up, and then they shot back up to $19.99. More expensive than all the others, and I think that's because of a stock issue, because they're not going to be making as many of these now because they are scheduled to retire. Still selling 3,000 units a month. Any Lego set in the UK selling 3,000 units a month is doing pretty well. I think people will think, well, it's a Sauber, it's not one of the best teams, but I still think it's part of a complete collection. I think people will miss out on this set and want to go back to pick it up. So at the right buying price, I think, well, this is my own opinion, it should be a good investment. And next up in my little haul, this was just a pickup from Facebook Marketplace. I fell down that rabbit hole of collecting Star Wars helmets. I just happened to stumble across this one. So we've got the Scout Trooper helmet that retired a few years ago now. Set number 75305 to add to my collection. I started off building these. I started off with Commander Cody. He's here in my kitchen. Captain Rex is in there as well. We've got the AT-80 helmet, and we've got Jango Fett here. So I've also got a few others in my collection that I've not yet built. I invested quite heavily in Princess Leia Boosh last year, picking up 17 copies of that. I've also got a Red 5 helmet, so the collection grows. And next up, we've got a set that I am selling. So this was a set that was originally scheduled to retire by the end of this year. It featured on my top 10 Lego sets to invest in video. I think it was going to do really well if it did retire at the end of this year. It fell off that retirement list. I picked up just the 5 copies, but the set retailed for £150, and I picked them up at a really good price of £100. So I've actually sold, this is my 4th. I sold my first one on eBay for £110. So a profit of £10. Remember, we do not pay fees in the UK. The second 2 copies I sold for just £100, just recouping my money back. And this was another eBay sale. So I reduced the price of this to £105. So again, I've made £5. And yeah, so I've just got the one more to shift now to reinvest that money in something else. So I'll show you what that set is. So it's this one here, Hogwarts Castle and Grounds. It's obviously doing really well, which is why Lego have extended it. So had it retired at the end of the year, I do think it would have been a good investment, especially at a brilliant buying price of £100. So I've made a little bit of profit on these, reselling them as they've not retired. Remember cashback from Top Cashback? I made, I think, the order of 5 from Argos. I made £5, and then credit card was probably about 1%. So probably around £10 in cashback, plus £10 for the first one I sold, and another fiver for another, and then the other two I've just sold at the price I picked them up for. So yeah, reinvesting that money in something different, and I'll show you next what I've reinvested that money in. So here it is. I picked up 2 copies of this set, the Disney Hocus Pocus Ideas Sanderson Sisters Cottage. It wasn't on my radar, but I have been keeping an eye on it on Argos. It retails for £200 and it is currently on sale, although it has gone out of stock now. It was reduced to £150, and I was keeping an eye on it and seeing how many were selling, and it sold something like 48 copies in 48 hours. So I thought this is a popular set, and I looked on eBay as well, and not many sellers for this one, which is quite interesting. I do think it is a really iconic Lego set from a brilliant film. I remember watching the film myself years and years ago, probably back in 1996. I think so many people watch Hocus Pocus around October, around Halloween time. So that would be my target time to sell these. I do think that it could potentially be a good investment. Again, this is my opinion, nobody else's. Please do your own research before investing in any Lego sets. This is just me reporting on my journey. But yeah, 2 copies of the Hocus Pocus Sanderson Sisters Cottage. So just a very small Lego haul for you guys this week, just to show you what I've been selling, what I've been picking up. So yeah, the Sanderson Sisters Cottage, I do think it's an interesting one at the right price. With very few sellers on eBay, I do think they could shift, and I've seen recent sales of it for around £180, £190. So you might be able to make some profit pretty quickly after this set retires. I think we can probably make some profit now. So yeah, just a little haul for you guys. Thank you for watching. As always, please like, hit subscribe if you haven't already, if you're enjoying the content, and follow me on my Lego investing journey. Take care, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.